All right, well, everybody, welcome back to the Rathletes Podcast. I'm here with CJ Watson, man. CJ, what's going on, bro?
It's good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, I'm glad that you came, man. You know what I'm saying? A 10-year NBA vet, man. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have you here, bro. So, man, how's everything going today, bro? What you been up to today?
Today's been good. Took my daughter to tennis today early this morning at 8. Sat in the hot sun, so
yeah,
got my day started off pretty well.
Right. Sun picking up out here, bro. You know, I feel like the weather's been really weird, especially when it be raining at nighttime, bro, and then like sunny and stuff during the day and stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's the first time I ever felt it like rain this much this summer.
In
a long time. So
right, man, right on, man. Well, I'm gonna shoot you a few icebreaker questions right now, bro. You know, let's get into it, man. So, would you rather it be hot or cold? Speaking of the weather,
hot.
Hot, okay.
I hate being cold.
Right. We got white Nike or Adidas.
I always love pro models, but Nikes I like now.
Pro model. You were pro. That's what was that? That's 08 that those came out. The pro models.
No, that was like 02 maybe. I had them in high school.
Okay. Is that because those? I feel like they did like they put them out again in like 08. Like
probably,
something like that. Okay. Right on. Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Okay. And favorite seat on the airplane?
Favorite seat on the airplane? Window seat.
Window seat. Emergency row?
It don't gotta be. I just want to get next to a window in case I want to fall asleep.
Right.
Be down in the middle or the aisle.
Lean that head against the wall a little bit.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Like your youth days, first day you picked up the basketball, got into the swing of everything, and like streets you grew up on, middle school, high school, all that, man. Let's just get into the jump.
So I grew up here in Vegas, on the west side of Vegas, born and raised here. My dad had me and my little brother always playing basketball in the front yard. So that's where I kind of developed a love for the game and just playing. And the first time I developed, a skill for the game, and then this competition, always playing against my younger brother and my dad, trying to beat them. Yeah. And just like I said, just developing a love for the game, and then going to. I didn't know what elementary school I went to. I went to a couple of them.
Long time now.
It's a long time. I got to think back. I went to Roof High, I think. I went to Doris Hancock. I went to Becker Middle School.
Okay, sick.
Obviously Gorman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just growing up here just really made me have a chip on my shoulder because Vegas doesn't get the exposure that I think we deserve. Right. As far as athletics, and then just going on from there and trying to get better and better each year and grow as a player. Right
on. So how was Gorman, man? I had Xavier Grimble. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I had him on the pod last episode or 2 episodes ago because this will come out in a few weeks from now. But 2 episodes ago, I had him on. How was Gorman, man, going through that?
It was cool, just growing up in the inner city, going to a private school. Like I talk about in my children's book, it's a different reality for me. Seeing graffiti, seeing gangs, seeing uncut grass, but then going to a private school in a nice neighborhood. Seeing going to school with all these rich, affluent people, and just being one of the few black kids at the school. It's definitely different. Being one of the two black kids in class, has always been, I guess, challenging for me emotionally and just physically. But I think it was a good adjustment. My mom wanted me to have the best education I can get, so I think Gorman was the only option. So that's why she chose us to go there. Right. Were you a part of the remodel Gorman or the older? No, I was the old Gorman. You was at the old Gorman. The true OG Gorman.
Yeah. So I remember. I think my mom, she took me past there one day before, and she was like, "This is where Gorman used to be at and stuff." Compared, because we got the fancier version now in my era. So she was telling me a little bit about that too as well.
The new one is nice. I wish I would have went to that one.
Yeah, right on, man. So, how was the high school recruiting circuit for you, bro? Like when did you first start getting offers and stuff like that? When did you see that your game was a little bit different than everybody else that you were around?
So I always grew up playing, like I said, Doolittle on the west side. So I played against guys like Montrell, Frank, Kevin, Keith Richardson. So those guys always challenged me, and they always beat me up when I was younger. So I think that helped me develop, a skill and a toughness. And just growing up, I think I got my first letter when I was after beginning of my junior year from Bobby Knight. I'll never forget it. It was a random school, and I know I would never would have went to Indiana, regardless of the situation. But I think, like I said, just growing up here, we didn't get the exposure, so I had to go out of state and across country to get the exposure and play against the best to see where I compared, and then to also just know for myself what I need to work on and what level I need to get to, and where I can play if I wanted to.
Right. And you received your first letter from Bobby Knight.
Yep.
Okay, sick. So when did Tennessee start to get into the mix for you?
Tennessee was like more like end of my junior year because I played locally with a couple AAU teams here, but where I really got the exposure was when I switched and went to a pump and run AAU team out of LA.
Okay.
So once I played for that team, everything started to come about. Like UCLA, Oregon, all the top schools are always at our games and recruited me. So, but my dream school was to go to UCLA, but Coach Lavin got fired, so that's why I chose Tennessee.
Right on. So, and was it like one of those things where you were like how was the recruiting like world like back then? Like, was it like, did they have 5 stars, 4 stars,
and
stuff
had all
like that?
Yeah, 5 stars, 4 stars, rankings, best on the West Coast, all American stuff.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. I don't think it's changed much. It's the whole aspect of social media has changed. Social media has changed.
Right. Where'd you fall in that like that pendulum at? Like, where was you at?
On the West Coast, I was like, one of the top 3 guards probably in the country. I was probably like top 80 or something like that. But it was fun for me to play against all those top guys like Raymond Felton, Sean Dockery. Melo was in my class. I think played against LeBron a couple times when he was a sophomore and junior. So it was good to play against him and get the exposure.
Right. Was your you spoke about your little brother earlier? Was he like on the same like path as you two as well, like with the basketball thing as well, or how did that like play out for him?
Yeah, he was on the same path. He committed to San Diego State, but he obviously went the JUCO route. Then he went to University of Idaho, played 2 years there. Played overseas, China, Taiwan, a couple places.
Okay, awesome, man. So, was Tennessee when they came into the mix and you eventually signed there and stuff like that? How was the experience there? Was it like what you expected, or like did they help with your development? Going to being able to be a pro and stuff. How was that journey at Tennessee?
It was different because it was a country city, small city, college town, and I'm from Vegas, a city boy. So
right, big.
It was just different. It's different for me.
Right.
Like I said, the whole racism thing was pretty big there. Most of the black kids at school were athletes, so that mostly I hung around all athletes and stuff like that. So it was definitely fun. They definitely prepared me for the NBA and for life after basketball.
Right.
And then just growing up, as a young man, I was there by myself, so I had to learn how to cook by myself. I had to learn how to do things on my own.
As anybody with college, when you get in college, you got to start figuring out mom and dad can't do it.
It gets real fast.
Right.
Start paying my own bills, trying to save money, and budget and stuff like that. So I think it really prepared me for the better.
Right on, man. And then so, did you during your journey out there, you spoke about the racism and stuff and like the different like aspects of being out there in Tennessee, and even like going from inner city Las Vegas and being going to Bishop Gorman. How was it like mentally on you? Like, did you feel like like it was a little, did you ever feel like you was like in a run or anything like that, or like let's speak about the high school part first. Like, how was that like mentally on you? Was it obviously a big culture shock, but like in the mental aspect of it?
I think the more so is just more so pressure. I think just trying to live up to everyone's expectations of you, and then also just trying to be the best I can and the best child I can for my parents. And not a lot of my family went to college, so I wanted to be one of the first ones to actually go to college and get a degree, and and try to turn that trajectory for our generational. So I think that's just the main thing, just the pressure trying to reach these goals that I wanted to reach personally and what others have for myself also. Right.
And in regards to like the college aspect of it, like how was that like mentally like on you? Like was it like, because I mean obviously you excelled at Tennessee, and outside of like the basketball stuff and everything, did you ever feel like you were like in like any runs or anything, or like ever felt like times was hard like being out there, especially like making that big adjustment from being at home with the family and stuff we mentioned to like being out on your own?
I think the biggest thing for me was just just being away from family. I think because I'm very family oriented. We have a big family, cousins, aunts, uncles. We always hung out all the time. Dinners on Sundays, stuff like that. So I think just being away from my family and being so far away. They weren't just a quick drive away. They were a couple of flights, and if you wanted to drive, it took you a couple of days to get there.
Right.
So I think that was just the biggest adjustment, trying to meet people and try to network and make these relationships to make it last.
Right on. What was the best game that you played at Tennessee? Like numbers wise?
Probably like 26 or 28 points, maybe a couple times against Kentucky or something like that. But, which is a big game for us as a rival, but that's probably one of the biggest games.
Okay, awesome. Did you so you got your name called on draft night? How was that experience? Like, especially being from somebody from Vegas and stuff, and knowing that we don't get as much attention as as we should.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't get drafted.
You didn't get drafted.
I was undrafted. Yeah. So funny story is my agent at the time, Mike Higgins, told me called me and said the Detroit Pistons going to draft you with the last pick. So I was like, cool, the last pick, at least I get my name called, whatever. But that didn't happen. So that was very disappointing. And that's kind of the first time I felt like rejection in my life, I guess. And then we just went back to the drawing table and said, what can we do next? Where's the best option? They offered me $120,000 to go overseas, most money I've ever seen in my life. So I got to take it.
Right.
I got to go overseas. I don't know where it's at, but I'm going to go and, play basketball, get better. Work on things.
Where were you at overseas?
Italy.
Oh, okay.
Reggio Emilia, Italy, small city. And I just said, I'm going to make the best of it and try to work on all the things they said I need to work on.
Right. And so you spent, how many years did you spend overseas?
Just one.
Just one. Mm-hmm. Okay. So after that 1 year, that's when you got your shot and going to the big league?
Yeah, came back here, went to it was the D League back then, but now it's the G League. Went to the G League for 1 month. Killed for a month, and then got the call up.
All right. Okay. Sick. What was the first team? So that's when you went. I think, was it Pacers? Was that when you went to the Pacers, or you went to another team?
No. So it was crazy because two teams called me up at the same time: Charlotte Bobcats and Golden State Warriors. But the Warriors pulled the trigger first. So,
okay, so you was with the Warriors before going to the Pacers, and then okay, and then that's when you went to the Bulls after the Pacers.
No, I went to the Bulls after the Warriors.
Bulls after the Warriors. Okay, sick. So how was the journey like being able to go through the NBA? So obviously you going over to Italy, and being able to be out there, obviously financial reasons, but like was that draining on you, like being able to be out there, because that's real far away from family now. So now you really, really far. You was far in Tennessee, but now you really far out, being all the way out in Italy. How was that on you?
It was tough, actually. I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, I really didn't want to go. But then once I got there, met some of my teammates who were cool. They actually played in the NBA previously, so they knew the journey and what I was trying to accomplish. So they definitely helped me get to that aspect. But every month I had a new coach. 1 month, I'm trying to learn the new system, learn the coach, learn his plays, and try to be the another lifeline on the court. And then he gets fired. And I got to do the same thing over and over again for the next month and the next month. So
why was they rotating through so many coaches?
They weren't happy. Yeah. I don't know. They was firing everybody. Yeah. And we wasn't winning. So that's overseas, if you don't win, that's not a good look.
Get rid of you.
They get rid of you fast, or you don't get paid.
Right.
So I think it was definitely an adjustment. I learned a lot from it. But like I said, it definitely helped me. But I didn't like it at all.
Didn't like
terrible.
it at all, huh?
Yeah.
Man, so then coming back over, what brought you back to the States? Like, you got an opportunity, obviously, but like, was it like one of those things where like financially was the money the same, like being out, coming back to the States, or like was it?
No, the money was way different.
It was way different,
especially in the D League. But the only reason I didn't go back was number one, I didn't have a good first experience. So I was like, if I have, that's my first year, it can only get worse from there. So I said, I'm not going back. And then I had a daughter too. So I was like, I don't want to be across the water and far away from her. So I just rather be closer to her. So that's why I just stay here.
Awesome. You got any funny stories from the NBA, bro?
Any funny stories?
Yeah.
I mean, I got
one that comes right to mind. Like,
just the funniest story is like Coach Nelson. It's not really funny, but it's just crazy that Coach Nelson, we used to have practice and all, and Coach Nelson would just bring his dog before practice, let his dog just run on the court, and use the bathroom on the court sometimes. And it was just he just didn't care. Like it was just weird, but it was funny though at the same time.
Man, letting his dog use the bathroom on the court, huh?
Yeah, it happens.
Like, shit. Oh man, so you spoke about your children's books briefly. How before we go into that, how important would you say it is to find your identity as an athlete outside of sports, bro?
I think so. It's very important. People look at us only as athletes and think we can only do one thing, whether you play football, basketball, whatever it is. But we're so much more than. No pun to LeBron, but we are more than athletes. We do so much more. We're fathers, husbands, whatever the case may be, and we're smart in everything we do. We're creators, So I think it's definitely important to find your lane, find what you're good at in your niche, and just go on with that. Right.
Expand on those children's books a little bit, man. Like, is that something that you always wanted to do, or was it like something that you found a niche in during your playing time and like after sports?
No, it was just crazy. I was sitting on the couch just like this at home, man. I was already done playing, so I said, how can I continue to inspire kids and tell my story? I said, what better way for kids to learn than read a book? Right. And I can still tell my story my way, how I want to tell it. So that's kind of how it came up. I went through a process with Tamika Newhouse, writing the book, Zoom calls with her, 2 or 3 times a week, just trying to tell my story and tell her exactly how it happened. And she wrote it out, and the end product is the books. And I think the books are great for me. I personally think.
Right. You make the kids read them?
My kids read them for the first week. After that, a new book comes to the house. Yeah,
throw it to the side.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. So, obviously we're in a big phase, mental health wise, as like athletes, and it's like a lot of talks and stuff like that. It's becoming a lot more popular. How important would you say it is to prioritize your mental health as a athlete?
I think it's more important than the physical part, the physical aspect. I always tell my daughter now, if you're at the same level as a player, the mental aspect is going to get you over the hump. It's going to get you to be greater than that next player or whatever you're compared to. So I think just trying to prioritize your mental health, doing daily exercises, whatever it may be, yoga, meditation, things like that, just to always build your mental.
Awesome. I think that it's important too. I think, like you said, those daily habits and stuff. I feel like, is that something that they prioritize in like the professional leagues too as well?
I think they're doing it a lot more now. Back when I was playing, did it a little bit, but not as much. I'm sure they're doing it now.
Right. Did you get the opportunity to play with Steph, bro?
Yeah. His rookie year was my last year in the Warriors.
Okay. Awesome. Like, was that like how was that? Like, how was that? The reason why I asked this is because I seen a clip where they were talking about like how his game is just like that much more elevated than everybody else's and stuff. Yeah. How was that? Like, was he like that when you were playing at the beginning?
I mean, he wasn't like a superstar like he is now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you saw like glimpses and pieces of being a superstar by his work ethic, just the way he approached the game and stuff like that. No one, if I would lie and say like, yeah, I would definitely, he's going to be a superstar one day.
Yeah.
I mean, you just, you never know.
You don't know.
It's all about the player. He had a lot of ankle injuries and stuff like that, so people were doubting him. But, like I said, you saw the work that he was putting in daily before and after practice. So you saw the greatness already coming. It's just, he just had to, just take it to the next level.
Right. Yeah, man. What are you up to these days, bro? Like, I know, play 10 years in the league and stuff like that. That's a big accomplishment, by the way, too. Congrats on that,
appreciate
bro.
It.
What are you up to now? How's that transition been like through life after sports?
It's been good. And like I said, writing a children's book. I wrote 3 children's books so far. I'm working on my 4th one right now. Me and my wife have a healthy vending machine business.
Okay, nice.
And then I'm an angel investor investing in startup companies or late stage companies. And I have a foundation for kids. So just trying to stay busy. Like I said, inspire the next generation coming up, and just want them to be better than I was.
Awesome. Do you feel like it's important now, especially in the Vegas community? Because I know that it's very like, we don't have like a lot of people that like you could look up to that are like reaching out back down. Is it very important to like implement those things into the community?
I think so. I think it's very needed. We all need role models and mentors. And I had a lot when I was growing up. So many people. It wasn't just my parents or my family. It was a community of people. A lot of my coaches were my mentors who I looked up to. So I definitely think it's we all need some kind of motivation and guidance to tell us what to do, what not to do, the mistakes they made in the past, so we don't make the same mistakes. So I think it's all a big thing, and just giving back the knowledge. Why have all this resources of knowledge and you can't give it back?
Right, absolutely, yeah. Some few people try to gatekeep, man.
Right,
so you
don't be a gatekeeper.
Not be a gatekeeper.
Ain't gonna help nobody but yourself.
Right on. How why healthy vending machines?
It was crazy. It's just so I went vegan like my last 3 or 4 years in the league.
Okay.
So I just try to help other people have healthier lifestyles. All this food we're eating that we don't know of is really killing us. So why put things like candy and stuff like that in machines that aren't good for us?
Right, exactly.
Let's try to put something that a healthier option. Sometimes people that we have locations that they want candy, so I'm like, all right, y'all get the candy. Then. Yeah, that's what y'all want. I'm trying to help you, but y'all want candy, I'm gonna give you candy. Yeah. But we try to keep it healthy, and just like I said, just give people different options to live a healthier lifestyle.
Right on, man. Well, I got 2 questions for you. Okay, so best player that you ever played with?
I mean, that's tough.
I know you don't play with a lot of damn good people too.
Yeah, I mean, D-Will was tough. Joe Johnson might be the most talented, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah. Like he was crazy. I only played with him for a year, but then Baron Davis. I mean, I could say Steph, but I didn't play with him when he was obviously the superstar that he is now. But yeah, those are probably the top ones.
Right. Why? I'm surprised. Joe. I mean, Joe is nice.
D Rose too.
You got the opportunity to play. Because
MVP. I've seen people run from him, so he might be number 1. I gotta change my list up.
D Rose was a dog, bro. Around that time. That's. I wish he got the opportunity to continue to like really go through that little stretch when he was killing, bro. It just it sucks, man.
It happens. It sucks. It happened in all kinds of sports. It's not basketball, but injuries have taken some of the greatest players that we never got a chance to see.
Right. Would you say who would you say is the best coach that you like had while you were in professional?
Coach, I would say either Tibbs or Don Nelson. Don Nelson's offensive plays always worked. Obviously he started the small ball stuff. So, but Tibbs, offense, defense, he always had us prepared. And Tibbs was just hungry. He wanted to prove people wrong. He wanted to, for him to succeed and his team to succeed. So I think Tibbs just was one of the best too.
Yeah. Is it like the level? Was the level of play like what is the difference between the level of play as a collegiate player and like collegiate in high school and as a professional player? Was it more so like studying more, like doing more? Like what did you feel like gave you the opportunity to be able to play in the league for 10 years?
I think just knowing my role. I don't know if you've seen that clip of Draymond speaking on the.
Yes, I did actually.
I think that's 100% true. Everyone is good in high school. Everyone's good in college. Obviously, the numbers get narrowed down a little bit, but when you get to the NBA, you got to really defect your role and find your role. And because you can't be a superstar. There's only so many superstars in the league. You got to come in. If you're going to be a defensive stopper, just do that to the best of your ability. You might have a 12-year career.
Right.
Maybe obviously every year add something to your game, but you got to know your role. Because if you don't, you'll try to be something you're not. You'll end up being either overseas somewhere or back in the G League.
Right out of there,
right,
man.
Yeah.
That's funny, bro. Well, man, hey, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I really appreciate you, know what I'm saying, for coming onto the pod and just, sharing some information with us and stuff too as well, man. I feel like, this is a little gibbets in here that people will really gain from and stuff like that, man. And like I said, I really appreciate it, man.
No problem. Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, right on, man. Well, we'll go ahead and close out right here, man. And